the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Turn 3 Racing Network, as tonight we are here at Kansas Speedway for the Elite Join APS Cup Series as they present the Mega Driver 86 Royals 200, and it is the final race in the Elite Chase Round 1. Thank you very much for joining me here tonight. Hope everyone is strapped in and holding on tight. We get ready to go green flag racing here at Kansas Speedway. Our scheduled distance is officially 200 miles an hour, but it will end up being 201 miles as we are going to do 134 laps in this event tonight. As we get after it right now, the fastest driver in practice, that is the 25 machine of Joshua Furr. He has turned the fastest lap at a 30.955. We're looking at 45 seconds to go here in our final practice session. Qualifying will be coming up next. And as these drivers get ready to go qualifying, take a quick look at our point standings. Chad Frankenfield continuing to stay atop those standings, picking up the win last week at Watkins Glen. David Tooker into second, Thomas George third place. Those guys 35 and 39 points behind Frankenfield. Joshua Furr into fourth place, Damian Leininger fifth in the standings. 9 drivers are going to advance into the next round. Right now, Dallas Myhan in that cutoff spot. He is the 9th driver who would be able to make it, barring somebody besides Chad Frankenfield winning this race. As we get ready to go qualifying, and I'm not sure what has happened, but I have lost all the drivers who are out on track. Very, very interesting. Let's see if we can restart this and get it back up and running. We want to see these guys qualify. We want to know how fast they are turning laps. Right now, the 31 machine of Gerald Campbell on track. The 42 of Thomas George looking to lay down a quick lap as well. Tyler Riggs in the 26 machine. Rushing the wall coming off of turn number 4. That's going to slow him down a little bit on the front stretch. But George in the 42 currently setting himself on a pole position. We look at our drop down as the times start to come in. They will move in very quickly. The 73 of Michael Goodman coming around to complete his first lap. And Goodman is going to post a time good enough for third, and quickly falls to fourth as Riggs posts his time. The 6 machine of Logan Shea right now into 6th place. Dustin Dewar in the 32. Good enough for 7th for the moment. Dallas Myhan in the 41. Right now, a driver who is in the bubble of not advancing into round number 2. He is on 9th place in the point standings, looking for a good qualifying run to start this race off as good as he can. That 41 right now sets 5th quick time. Damian Leininger in the 12 machine. Out on track, Leininger tied for 4th place in the standings, well above the cut line, but nothing is set in stone as Leininger has a cool 1,070 points. Dallas Myhan has 1,061. So just a few points here or there, just a few positions on track could be the difference from Leininger advancing or going to the next race knowing that his championship hopes have been dashed. Joshua Personette in the 7 machine coming around to complete his 2nd lap. And Personette going to move to 9th place. His 2nd lap is faster. The 64 machine of Andrew Rucker out on track for his qualifying time. He is going to complete his 1st lap. And the 64 going to jump to 11th place. And as we like to do here at Turn 3 Racing Network, we are going to step away for our national anthem.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the drivers are starting to take to the grid, and that means it is time to go through tonight's starting lineup. Row number 1 is going to be the 15 of Chad Frankenfield and the 31 of Gerald Campbell. Row 2 will be the 25 of Joshua Furr and the 11 of Matthew Weeks. Row 3 will be the 83 of Stephen McGough and the 81 of Johnny Thomas. Row 4 will be the 64 of Andrew Rucker and the 32 of Dustin Dewar. Row 5 will be the 42 of Thomas George and the 73 of Michael Goodman. Row 6, the 41 of Dallas Myhan and the 26 of Tyler Riggs. Row 7 will be the 12 of Damian Leininger and the 28 of Joshua Clark. Row 8 will be the 7 of Joshua Personette and the 6 of Logan Shea. Row 9 will be the 2 of Josh Robin and the 19 of David Tooker. Row 10 will be the 97 of Levi Zielinski and the 9 of Rusty Capel. Row 11 will be the 87 of Richard Hines and the 86 of Ethan Reisner. Row 12 will be the 89 of Brent Jones and the 58 of Chris Jordan. And the final row will go to the 22 machine of David Westergreen. Chad Frankenfield puts it on pole once again, that 15 machine, picking up the win last week at Watkins Glen. Pace car down and away as we get ready to go. Green flag racing here at Kansas Speedway. And Frankenfield gets on the throttle and gets a good jump over the 31. The 25 of Furr right behind him. And Campbell trying to cut down in front of the 25 of Furr and does so in pre-race chat. I got to talk with a lot of the drivers. They were saying that this bottom line is going to be very important at Kansas Speedway tonight. And Frankenfield dropping down through that inside lane through 3 and 4. Campbell up high a little bit as Furr. Oh, it's contact off of turn number 4. We got Andrew Rucker in the grass. Ethan Reisner in the 86 involved as well. Levi Zielinski getting a piece of it, I believe. But Rucker involved here off of turn number 4 at Kansas Speedway. Let's take another look here as the 83 of Stephen Magot tags the wall off of turn 4. Rucker goes sliding through the grass. And Reisner taking evasive action, I believe. As we go off the nose of Ethan Reisner. See the contact happening up ahead. 2 more cars getting into the wall. That is championship contender Damian Leininger. We're going to take another look at this Leininger as Tyler Riggs bounced off the wall, got into him. Logan Shea getting into it with the 12 of Leininger. So early issues here at Kansas. Several cars getting into trouble. And half the field is on the pit road. We started 25 cars here tonight. And only 12 cars not on pit road. The 86 of Reisner with a quick little repair job on his machine. Just a few seconds of repair needed on that as he went bouncing through the grass. The caution lights on for the first time here tonight. And that does give us just a quick little moment to go over our joinaps.com track facts here at Kansas Speedway. Tonight's race is 134 laps for 201 miles. Fuel run of about 45 to 50 laps. If you really wanted to push it, maybe get 52, 53. Really all depends on how aggressive you are with that throttle. As we open up with, this is the final race in Elite Chase Round 1. Only 9 drivers are going to advance. We saw Damian Leininger in trouble here early. One of our championship contenders. into the wall on lap 1. Logan Shea, another championship contender who made contact with Leininger, also involved. Ethan Reisner in the 86 went through the grass. But pace car is down and away, and we get ready to go green flag racing once again. And Chad Frankenfield with another excellent restart. That 25 machine of Joshua Furr timed it perfect, stayed right on that back bumper. And Campbell in the 31 gonna fall to third place as Furr in that 25 machine just had a great timing on that restart. Campbell sitting duck in that situation, but Campbell battling right back to the outside, but Furr is there to block. Arrow push was being used as a term in practice, and we see Furr get all up in the lane that Campbell is trying to use. Everyone's starting to migrate to the high side here a little bit. The 11 machine of Matthew Weeks takes us on board as he works his way off of turn number 4 and onto the front stretch. Weeks was very intent on getting a win here at Kansas Speedway. He's had an excellent qualifying run. And the 11 machine right now inside the top 5. Great run down the back stretch. But decides to go nowhere with it as the 31 of Campbell had to lift just a little bit. Rounding out your top 5 here on lap number 8 is the 42 of Thomas George. George working his way down the backstretch into turn number 3. Came into tonight's event third place in the point standings. Barring an implosion on his finish here tonight, he is a driver we look to see advance into round number 2 for the Elite Chase. The 12 machine of Damian Leininger is very slow here. He is in trouble. He is currently in a 22nd spot. You see he's got heavy damage on the rear end and left side of that machine. But a Chase contender in trouble here at Kansas Speedway. He's not the only one. Ethan Reisner in the 86. He is lounging around at the back as well. Currently finding himself in 22nd as he makes a pass on Damian Leininger. Reisner came in to this event tied for 12th place with Joshua Personette down below the cutoff line. And as he is now in 22nd spot, that is not going to get it done for him to advance into Elite Chase round number 2. He's got to get after it, start picking up the pace a little bit. However, his race is going infinitely better than Logan Shea. Logan Shea is out of the race. The 6 machine came in 11th place in the point standings tonight. And with him only completing 2 laps, his night is done and his championship hopes as well. Joshua Furr coming around to lead his 2nd lap of the race. Campbell in the 31, moving into 2nd. Frankenfield has fallen to 3rd place. Matthew Weeks in the 11 machine, moving up into third as he has got the momentum on the high side, trying to get around the 15 of Frankenfield. Chad drives in deep down on the bottom. Good smooth exit for the 15. He's able to carry some speed down the front stretch. Weeks in that draft with the 31 to Campbell. We go on the nose of Johnny Thomas. Thomas right now in 6th place. Ooh, Thomas going to bump the wall a little bit there. Got into turn 1 just a little hot. Has broke his momentum up. That is going to allow the 97 of Levi Zielinski to make the pass. Zielinski slides up to the high side now. The 32 machine of Dustin Dewar down on the inside of Dallas Myhan. Damian Leininger staying down to the bottom. His speed not able to challenge any of these front runners to stay on the lead lap. He is the first and only car 1 lap down. The 86 of Ethan Reisner not too far away from joining him in that 1 lap down category. Joshua Furr in the 25, your race leader, has led for 6 laps. Chad Frankenfield led the first 10. But now Chad in the 15 machine has fallen to 5th place. Harold Campbell still in 2nd in that 31 machine. Matthew Weeks in 3rd, 4th going to Thomas George. Down onto the backstretch they go. That is a 6-car train. Levi Zielinski in the 97 machine. The caboose of this line of cars. He does have just under 1 second gap to the 81 of Johnny Thomas. These top 6 cars all running single file, all running right along the wall. High risk, high reward situation. Running that close to the wall. Doesn't take much to get into it, and then does cause you to scrub a ton of speed. Zielinski in 6th place. Dustin Dewar in the 32. Right now he is in 10th. Joshua Clark in the 28 machine right in front of him in 9th place. With Dallas Myhan in 8th and 7th going to the 81 of Johnny Thomas. That is your current top 10. Clark in the 28 machine as the yellow flag is going to come out. Chris Jordan in the 58 has gone for a spin on the front stretch. Flagman furiously waving the yellow flag at him. The very angry Flagman. Let's take a look and see what happens to the 58. Contact with the 7 of Personette. And Jordan trying to save it. He fishtails all the way around. Collects Andrew Rucker again. That 64 machine finding trouble. Rusty Capel in the 9 getting a piece of the action as well. So Jordan in the 58 just couldn't get his car settled down. And Rucker in the 64 thought he had him cleared. And then pow! Into the wall goes the 64 for the second time tonight. Your race leader is this 25 of Joshua Furr. Bringing most of the field down onto pit road. Drivers all getting 4 tires and fuel down and away. The drag race off of pit road. The 31 at Campbell is going to win it as Furr spun his tires up and really got sideways. But an excellent pit stop for Gerald Campbell as the 31 machine is going to come off of pit road first place. All right, so as the field forms up behind the pace car, Harold Campbell is your race leader. Joshua Furr going to restart on his outside. Matthew Weeks in the 11 machine going to restart second row inside. Chad Frankenfield in the 15 machine. Second row outside. Levi Zielinski and Thomas George will make up row number 3. Lights have gone out on the pace car. Field gets lined up all nice and pretty, 2 by 2, side by side. Dallas Myhan in the 41. Restarting in 7th place. This 41 machine going to carry us on aboard for this restart. As the pace car gets ready to peel off. Let's see what a restart is like. Just a few rows deep, everyone getting bunched up, waiting for the green flag. And away we go once again as the green flag flies, drawing an end to our second caution of the night. My hand holding his line down on the bottom. Works his way off a turn number 2, trying to come up just a little bit. Now finds a slot right along the wall as he heads off into turn number 3. Right in front of him is the 28 of Joshua Clark. Clark is a man on a mission here. He is moving to the front of the field. Clark started 14th, now finds himself in 5th place. Burr in that 25 venturing up high very early in this run. Now he dives down to the bottom to try and take away 2nd place from the 15 of Frankenfield. Frankenfield high through 1 and 2. So is the 42 of Thomas George. George with the run there as Burr had to break his momentum. He is going to lose a spot, maybe in danger of losing another to the 28 of Clark. But Clark stays tucked in behind the 25. And these drivers all starting to get single file up at the front here as they are running along the high side. Matthew Weeks in the 11 machine has fallen to 6th place. The 97 of Levi Zielinski right on his back bumper. The 7 of Joshua Personette rounds out your top 10. And right behind him, that is the 19 machine of David Tooker. Tooker from Pro Edge Racing came into tonight's event 2nd place in the point standings. After starting in 18th spot, he has gained 9 positions. He is on a march to the front as well. That 19. Ooh, as we got trouble, the 96 of Zielinski is going around. The 28 of Josh Clark gets T-boned hard. I believe that was the 87 machine of Richard Hines, who also smacked into the 28 of Clark. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and see what happened here. Zielinski in the 97 just drifts up into the 28. Zielinski gets it sorted out. The 87 is going to collect the 26 of Tyler Riggs, both drivers smacking that inside wall. We go off the nose of Riggs. And Hines in the 87 just smashes in to the 28 and then collects the 26. So heavy damage on those 3 cars. And the 28 of Joshua Clark has gone behind the wall. It looks like his night is done. Campbell in the 31 onto pit road. Tires going on his machine. Chad Frankenfield in the 15 for tire stop. The 41 of Dallas Myhan already rolling. And Dallas gonna roll the dice on 2 tires and win the race off of pit road. The 9 machine of Rusty Capel being scored as the race leader. He did not come down pit road. Do want to point out that the 64 of Andrew Rucker has also gone behind the wall. He is going to call it a night as well. And now the 9 makes his break for pit road. Damian Leininger in the 12. Taking some extra time to work on his machine. That 12 machine taking heavy damage here in the first incident of the night. Dustin Dewar also spending time on pit road, massaging his body panels. David Westergreen in the 22 machine finds himself 6 laps down as he starts dropping to the back of the field. But Dallas Myhan trying 2 tires here. We'll see how that works out for the 41 machine. Lights go out on the pace car. We get set to go green flag racing again. This is our 3rd caution for 9 laps so far. We have had 4 lead changes between 5 different drivers. Joshua Furr has led the most laps so far at 12. Frankenfield has led for 10. Campbell 9, and now Dallas Myhan has led for 2 laps under yellow after taking that gamble for 2 tires. Myhan has got to be careful not to spin the tires as he tries to get through the gearbox. A lot of torque being put down by these machines. And Myhan gets an excellent jump as the green flag comes out. Campbell got caught napping there a little bit. He is going to slide down to try and defend 2nd place from the 15 of Frankenfield. Now Campbell going to lose that spot as he is trapped behind the 41 of Dallas Myhan. And Campbell pushing Myhan into turn 3. Frankenfield down on the bottom, going for the race lead. But Myhan holding on to it for the moment. Ooh, as Campbell's going to get in the wall a little bit. But Dallas Myhan holding on to the lead. And the longer he can stay out front, the more these guys are going to wear their tires out. And the better those 2 tires are going to work for him. That 41 picking up some bonus points, or I should say a bonus point for leading a lap. Campbell in the 31, hot on his bumper. Campbell now taking a peek to the inside. That 31 machine wants the race lead back. Door to door at the line, or side by side, I guess you should say. They weren't really door to door, but Campbell taking over the top spot off of turn number 2. Thomas George in the 42 sliding into 3rd place. '73 machine of Michael Goodman. Right now he finds himself in 12th place. Goodman taking a peek to the inside of the 97 of Zielinski. Zielinski not worried about that move at all. Goodman solidly into 12th here. Zielinski gets into the wall a little bit. That is going to slow him down just a touch. But Goodman not close enough to take advantage of Zielinski making contact with the wall. The 2 machine of Josh Robin. Right now, Robin holding on to 10th place. Zielinski in that 97 was running up near the top 5. Now makes a move on the 2 of Robin to try and take over 10th spot. Zielinski has the momentum on the high side, and he is going to get that pass completed. Do want to give a shout out and thank you to everyone joining in the YouTube chat. Fred Lane cheering for his drivers at Do Good Motorsports. Logan Shea rooting for PRM. That's person at Riggs Motorsports. And then the 28, this season is over according to Clark Josh, who I can only assume is Josh Clark, pulling an old Clark Kent Superman, put on a pair of glasses as if we wouldn't know it was him. But your race leader is Gerald Campbell in the 31 machine. Campbell holding on to just a 0.166 second lead over Dallas Myhan. Myhan, who has those 2 tires. Looks like that was an excellent choice for the 41 to take those 2 tires, as he is able to run with these leaders. Left side tires in that 41 machine are only about 10 laps older than the rest of the field. That is something to add to your notebook. That 41 has made 2 tires work. Did not fall directly to the back of the pack, as you can see from time to time when a driver does take 2 tires. In fact, the 41 taking a peek down to the inside for the race lead. Campbell holding him off for the moment. Aerial coverage for tonight's race is provided by joinaps.com. Blimp giving us some excellent views here. We got one car slow on the apron. That is the 58 of Chris Jordan. Campbell in the 31, working his way down the backstretch. Myhan right there. This has been a very close battle for the race lead. Myhan started with the lead. Campbell took it away from him. Now Damian Leininger goes 1 lap down. He was on the lead lap, had made his way back around to that lead lap category, but the damage on that 12 just too much to keep him at race pace. He's fallen behind once again. We do have 5 cars out of the race. The 28 machine of Josh Clark will be scored in 21st spot. Richard Hines in the 87 machine going to be scored in 22nd. Andrew Rucker scored 23rd. 24th will be the 6 of Logan Shea. And 25th spot going to Stephen McGough in the 83 machine. The 19 of David Tuckert continuing his charge to the front of the field. Started 18th spot and has been on a march forward ever since. He is now in 6th, knocking on the door of a top 5 run here. He's got to get around the 81 of Johnny Thomas to break into the top 5. 25 machine of Joshua Furr, who led for 12 laps early in this race, now finds himself in 6th place, with Matthew Weeks in the 11 right behind him. Weeks was really hoping for that win. He is still within striking distance of the lead. He has fallen back a little bit here. He is sitting in 8th place. But Weeks, in my pre-race talk with him, had this track circled. It is his favorite track. And it is my home track. Kansas City Royals, their stadium is about 30 minutes from Kansas Speedway. Jump on I-70 and have you a nice little scoodle down to the Royals Stadium where they play. Not called the Royals Stadium, it's actually called Kauffman Stadium. Chiefs also playing at Arrowhead, that is in the same complex. Big old plot of land that holds 2 stadiums and a parking lot for all people involved. Arrowhead known for its excellent tailgating. Kansas City known for its barbecue. Throw those 2 things in. You have a heck of a time if you ever happen to be at Kansas Speedway, able to catch a Royals game or a Chiefs game. Campbell in the 31 machine has been out front for 25 laps now. Shaping up to have a solid run. So far, we have not seen a car be able to pull away from the rest of the pack. But Campbell's starting to open up what could be called the biggest lead of the race so far. Campbell now enjoying a 0.28 second lead over Dallas Myhan. Check in on a few drivers that are a little deeper in the field. The 2 machine of Josh Robin finds himself in the middle of the 73 of Michael Goodman and the 9 of Rusty Capel. I am looking down my running order here. I shouldn't say my running order, but ooh, as the 2 smacks the wall off of turn number 2. Settles it down before he gets into any further trouble. But that 2 machine is now slow on the apron, and it looks like he might be headed for pit road as he hit that wall hard. So Josh Robin onto pit road. Dallas Myhan in the 41 after holding on to second place for a long time is now starting to lose some ground. I do believe that was Josh Robbins' first start of the season. I was looking for him in our points accumulation chart. Do not see that he has scored any points so far this season. So Josh Robin, making his first start, finds the wall off of turn number 2. The 32 machine of Dustin Dewar has gone behind the wall. Dustin with an early exit into tonight's race. Not a good sign for fans of the 32 machine. Josh Robin in the 2, also going behind the wall. Meanwhile, the 19 of David Tooker and Joshua Furr trying to work their way to the inside of the 81 of Thomas. Johnny Thomas in the 81 Carhartt machine. Right now in a 4th place. Tooker in the 19 down on the inside. Gonna lose a spot to the 11 of Matthew Weeks. That inside lane just not able to work as well as the high side. Michael Goodman in the 73 right now is in 10th place. Levi Zielinski in the 97 trying to catch up to the pack right in front of him. Zielinski finds himself in 9th. We go on board with the 97, TRD on the hood of that machine. And Zielinski brushing the wall ever so gently, just kissed it, just brushing it with the side of his machine. Meanwhile, at the front, Campbell continuing to lead. Rangenfield in the 15 machine sitting in 2nd. Third place for the moment going to the 42 of Thomas George. These 3 cars do have a 2.5 second lead over the 25 of Joshua Furr. So the top 3 have pulled away from Joshua Furr in the 25. Thomas in the 81 right now in 5th place. 6 going to Matthew Weeks in that black and green 11 FedEx machine. Zielinski in the 97 is closing in on the 19 of David Tooker. And these drivers have been out there for 33 laps. Green flag pit stops are about 10 laps away. The tire fall off is not too bad as far as speed. Campbell's best lap was a 31.064. Last time around, he turned a 31.9, just under a second for fall off. But he is now starting to open up a gap on the 15 of Frankenfield. Frankenfield opening up a gap on on George. So these three are enjoying some clean air all around, but they are all running the high side, which is typical here at Kansas Speedway on the iRacing service. First few laps though, everyone very protective of the bottom. Then they start migrating to the high side as you get a few laps on the tires. We do have 15 cars out on track after starting 25 cars. Damian Leininger has pulled onto pit road, but his scorecard has not been pulled just yet. He is in 16th place. For the moment, Tyler Riggs in the 26, also sitting on pit road. We saw Riggs get involved in the incident that claimed the 28 of Josh Clark and the 87 of Richard Hines. Riggs may be able to get back out there. Might have hopes of getting back out there. Leininger in the 12 does make his way back out on the track, down on the apron. Gets past the silly blue cone, so he knows that he is officially now allowed to join the race. You can't hear the sarcasm dripping off of my voice from that stupid blue cone. I don't know what to tell you. Now we're about 5 to 10 laps away from seeing green flag pit stops, depending on how deep these drivers want to take it. And with 63 laps to go, kind of in a tough spot here as to how deep into the run you want to take this. David Tooker in the 19. Still behind the 41 of Dallas Myhan. Myhan, who took 2 tires, might be the first driver to come down pit road and take 4 fresh tires. We'll keep an eye on that. Myhan, I don't recall what place he was in when he came down pit road for those 2 tires. I think he was in 9th. So far a net gain of 2 positions. He was able to run up front for a while and then got freight trained and has fallen back to 7th spot. As George in the 42 machine moves into 2nd place. Campbell really starting to open up a gap here over the 42 of George. Thomas George now 1.5 seconds behind. Now, how deep into the run can we go? Last on pit road, 43 laps for this field. And the 7 of Joshua Personette is going to be our first driver to hit pit road. But I believe the 7 has taken damage as he is sitting there after getting 4 tires. We'll see if Personette gets rolling here. Campbell works his way off of turn number 4. Will lead his 49th lap of the race. So Campbell in the 31, continuing to cycle around out there. Fuel tanks are starting to get dry. The 7 of Personette has rejoined the race. He is now 3 laps down. Scored in 14th spot. There are 13 cars on the lead lap. And the field is spread out just a little bit here. This is currently our closest battle. That is the 19 of Tooker and the 41 of Dallas Myhan. So as this long green flag run has continued, you can see drivers who have their car set up for that long run really starting to open up a gap on the rest of their competition. Campbell in that 31 machine really standing out in that category. He now has a 1.5 second lead over the 42 of George. And with 54 laps to go, these drivers might try and push it all the way to E, and then have the possibility of this being the final stop of the night. Ethan Reasoner in the 86. He is going to break for pit lane from 13th spot. And I believe this is going to be the first green flag pit stop we'll see that is not on pit road for an incident. Personette was working on some damage out there that he received. The 15 of Chad Frankenfield now on the pit road as he has pitted from 3rd place. So has the 81 of Johnny Thomas. He makes his way on the pit lane. Those two drivers, the only two to come down pit road that lap. Campbell not showing signs of slowing down just yet. Frankenfield going to have the advantage of fresher tires. We're now at least 2 laps difference. Joshua Furr in the 25 now makes his break for pit road. So does the 41 of Dallas Myhan. So another 2 cars coming down pit lane. 4 drivers have made their pit stops in total so far. And now from the race lead, Darrell Campbell in the 31. That will give the top spot over to Thomas George, who's going to lead for the first time tonight. That 42 machine is going to have to respond to these drivers on pit road. And George not looking like he is going to hit pit road this time. He stays out. And the 42 going to lead another lap. Campbell in the 31, down and away. Frankenfield in the 15, closing in quickly on him. These two might join up down the backstretch. Campbell getting up to speed. And Campbell is going to hold on to the top spot for the drivers who have pitted. David Tooker completing his pit stop. He makes his way off of pit road with the 19 for fresh tires for him. But George in the 42 continuing to cycle around. And you got to wonder, when is he going to come to pit road, because that 42 is now losing time to Campbell and Frankenfield. Each lap he is out there, he is about 1 second slower per lap. Michael Goodman in the 73, making his way into his pit stall. Right sides go down as he's got fresh tires there. Left side goes up. 4 tire stop for the 73 as he gets ready to rock and roll out of his pit stall. And George, I wonder if George is just trying to run this out as far as possible, hoping for a caution. But with as strung out as this field is, it is going to take a large driver error. Maybe someone trying a little too hard to get off the pit road, spinning the tires. Personette in the 7, going to get 1 of 3 laps back. He's now 2 laps down. Leininger, 8 laps down in total in that 12 machine, still in 16th spot. Dustin Dewar in the 32 has rejoined the race. That 32 machine is in 17th place. We have 17 cars out on track now. And the 42 of George is going to bring it to pit road speed limit. And so does the 11 of Matthew Weeks. And our final one to come down pit road, that is the 97 of Levi Zielinski. Campbell and Frankenfield working their way into 3 and 4 will easily pass George, Weeks, and Zielinski. They are all sitting in their pit stalls here, getting 4 tires. I expect George to come out about 5 seconds, maybe even 6 or 7 behind these guys. George is now off pit lane and getting up to speed in that 42 machine. But Campbell and Frankenfield picking up a battle that has been going on for a while. That last tire run, Campbell showed that he had the long run speed. Frankenfield in the 15 started falling off. Now that Thomas George has gotten up to speed and our scoring has updated, he is 12 seconds off the race lead in 5th place. Joshua Furr in the 25 sitting in 3rd. He is just about 6 seconds behind Campbell in the race lead. This 25 has got a nice little spot of track all to himself. With these green flag pit stops, it has really strung the field out. Our closest battle is the 11 and the 19. That is a battle for 7th and 8th place. As we have 39 laps to go. Hooker taking us on board as he tries to close in on the 11 of Weeks. The 19 of Tooker starting to lose a little bit of ground to Weeks. Meanwhile, Frankenfield still hounding the 31 of Campbell and is inching closer to him. He is going to make a move to the inside. Campbell slides up high, and the 15 of Frankenfield dives down to the bottom, but unable to hold it as the 31 of Campbell gets an excellent run on the outside lane. And now the 15 has to try it all over again and get back to that back bumper of Campbell. Campbell in that 31 machine has locked down, leading the most laps here tonight. 62 laps and counting. Joshua Furr led for 12 laps, sitting in that second spot in that lap led category. And with only 35 laps when they cross the start finish line left in this event, that means Campbell has led the most laps here tonight. So a bonus point to the 31 machine. Personette Riggs Motorsports not having a good showing here tonight. Tyler Riggs has been out of the race for about a half hour now. He finds himself in 19th spot, 48 laps down. Logan Shea in the 6th, early exit for the 6 machine. He is scored in a 24th spot. His scorecard has been pulled. He has called it a night. Joshua Personette still out on track as Campbell has some internet issues there. Not a good sign here at Kansas Speedway as the race leader, who has got a hard charging 15 machine right behind him, starts blinking in and out. But checking in on the 7 of Joshua Personette, he finds himself in 13th place. He is 2 laps down. The PRM not having the best of luck here tonight at Kansas Speedway for the at Mega Driver 86 Royals 200. Pro Edge Racing looking at David Tooker in the 19 machine, carrying that banner here tonight. He is in 8th place. leading his other Pro Edge Racing teammates. Josh Clark in the 28, caught up in an incident. He is out of the race. He is scored in 21st spot. Ethan Burrell not making the start here tonight. Matthew Weeks in the 11 machine. Well, I apologize. Matthew Weeks is ahead of David Tooker. So the 11 of Matthew Weeks is the one carrying the banner for Pro Edge Motorsports. Damian Leininger in the 12 machine from Bright Lights, finding himself in a 16th spot. Got caught up in an issue on lap 1 and has been out there ever since, driving a wounded car, not giving up on the night. Always do appreciate a driver who toughs it out despite adversity. It's never fun driving a wounded car, especially for a 200-mile race, and he's going to have to do it for all the laps he can. He's not going to be able to make it the full 200 miles, as he is 8 laps down right now. '90 Motorsports currently being led by the 15 of Chad Frankenfield. Joshua Furr in the 25, also represented by 90 Motorsports, finds himself in 3rd place. Solid run going for those two teammates. Gerald Campbell in the 31. Campbell being represented by his own team. We'll make up a team name for him, Campbell Motorsports, because it's easy. And I'm not feeling creative right now. But the 31 of Campbell, your race leader, starting to pull away now as we've gotten into a long green flag run. This tire run starting to get long in the tooth. 24 laps on Campbell's tire. Steel Horse Racing being represented by Thomas George. George in 4th place. Saw George lead for about 8 laps. Come down pit road. Once he rejoined the race, he was 12 seconds off the race leader. He has closed that down to about 9.5 seconds, but still a long way to go before he can catch up to that race leader. 9 seconds here at Kansas Speedway is pretty far behind. And with 24 laps to go, Thomas George gonna need some help from a caution to get bunched back up and get back into the battle for the race lead. Rebels Racing, Levi Zielinski in the 97 machine, finding himself in 9th place. Another driver for Rebel Racing, Andrew Rucker in the 64, an early exit for him. Rucker had an eventful night, got caught up in 2 crashes, decided to hang it up. Rusty Capel in the 9 machine, also being represented by Rebel Racing. Right now he finds himself in 10th place. He is the first car 1 lap down. So Campbell starting to stretch out his lead. He now has a 1.8 second lead over the 15 of Frankenfield. And Campbell not showing any signs of slowing down to try and save fuel. His best lap of a 31.047. This last time around, he has turned a 31.935. 30 laps on those tires and not even a second of fall off. So that 31 still getting after it. Joshua Furr in the 25 machine, battling with Thomas George. This is a battle for third. George does have 8 lap fresher tires. And the 42 has been closing in quickly on these race leaders. Just a few laps ago, it was a 9-second gap. Now it is down to a 7.4-second gap to the race lead. With 19 laps to go, he is quickly running out of time. As George almost got into the left rear of Furr. George has had to lift. That is going to break his momentum down the straightaway. He has got to gather it back in and close that distance once again. We go on board with the 25 of Furr. This battle for third is costing George some time here. He has got to get around Joshua Furr if he has any hopes of tracking down Chad Frankenfield. Frankenfield has fallen to 3.8 seconds now behind Campbell. So the 15 machine, again showing that doesn't have the long run that Campbell does. And the 26 of Tyler Riggs is going to get back out there. Riggs is 66 laps down, and he has a shot at passing Josh Robin, who is 62 laps down. So if Riggs can make about 4 laps, he will make a pass on Josh Robin and move into 18th spot. That could be the difference for Riggs. He is in danger of not advancing into the round of 9. So that 26 machine does have to make this pass to try and get as many points as possible. Dustin Dewar, who is in 17th spot, is 24 laps down. But Riggs not going to be able to make the pass on the 32 machine. As Thomas George to the inside of Joshua Furr. Furr getting into the outside wall off of turn number 2. And the 42 of George now moves into third place and starts to set his sights onto second place. Chad Frankenfield just 3 seconds ahead of him. And Frankenfield, you can see out the nose of the 42 machine. Might be in fuel conservation mode, trying to save some fuel. Slowing his pace down a little bit to get to the end of this thing. Thomas George will be good on fuel to the end of this thing. And with 12 laps to go, that is going to be close for the 42 if Frankenfield is only saving fuel to make sure he can get to the end of this thing. Rounding out your top 5 is the 81 of Johnny Thomas. Thomas finding himself 13.8 seconds off the race lead. 5.4 second gap between him and the 25 of Furr. Matthew Weeks in the 11 machine, he finds himself in 6th place with the 7 of Dallas Myhan, or the 41 of Dallas Myhan in 7th. And George really closing in quickly on the 15 of Frankenfield. With 9 laps to go when Campbell crosses the start-finish line. This 42 has got the scent of blood. He is on the hunt, and the 15 is square up directly in his sights. He is pressed for time. Can the 42 get to the 15 and make the pass? The 31 now looking at 8 laps to go. Campbell has led a 490 laps. A dominating performance by the 31 here tonight. Campbell staying smooth, staying committed to riding around that high lane here at Kansas. Looks like not a scratch on that 31 machine. He is now enjoying a 5.2 second lead over the 15 of Frankenfield. Now make it 6 laps to go, and the 31 not showing signs of slowing down. 32.160 last time around. Thomas George turning a 32.057. And George really closing in on the 15. And I think Frankenfield is doing all he can out there. I believe he has given up on trying to conserve fuel with 5 laps to go and that 42 closing in that fast. I think Frankenfield has just ran his tires as far as they will let him go. And the 42 of Thomas George is right there. This battle for second place starting to heat up with 4 laps to go. Catching is one thing, passing is another. Thomas George has gotten to that back bumper, but can he make a pass on the 15? Frankenfield going to hold on to that high side. That's going to make it very difficult for the 42 to get around. But George taking a peek to the inside here on the front stretch. Frankenfield staying high, is going to be able to get the momentum through the corner. And George tries to slide up. Frankenfield drifts as high as he can, gets into the wall a little bit, and that is enough to allow the 42 of Thomas George to slide into second place. So Thomas George makes it all the way up to second, but with 2 laps to go for the 31 of Gerald Campbell and a 6-second lead over the 42. Campbell onto the back stretch has got to just maintain what he has done for 96 laps. He comes around, white flag in the air, final lap, final time around as we get our 1 to go by joinaps.com. Campbell on that high side, not getting into the wall. Nice and smooth exit off of turn 2 down the backstretch for the final time. 1 more corner to go, and the 31 of Campbell will punch his ticket into the next round. And he will bring home the race win here at Kansas for the Mega Drivers 86 Royals 200. Thomas George brings it home second, third place going to Frankenfield. Joshua Furr in the 25 in fourth. Johnny Thomas in the 81 fifth. Matthew Weeks in sixth, with Dallas Myhan seventh, and eighth place going to Levi Zielinski. David Tooker going to be ninth, and rounding out your top 10 will be the 9 of Rusty Capel. So Campbell celebrating as only a race winner can. Burnouts for that 31 machine. Fishtailing all the way down the front stretch into turn 4. Locks up the brakes, spins it around. Campbell picking up his second win of the season. First win coming at Martinsville, this one here at Kansas. Congratulations to the 31 machine. What a race we had. A few stats about tonight's event. We did have 3 cautions for 11 laps. Saw green flag pit stops. And your race winner is the 31 of Gerald Campbell. He burns it down at the start finish line. Guys, we're gonna step away for just a moment, see if we can't get any of our podium finishing drivers to join us in the broadcast booth and hear from them. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well, you know what? While we wait, let's go ahead and go through our finishing results. Gerald Campbell in the 31, your race winner. Thomas George in the 42 brings it home second. Third will be Chad Frankenfield in the 15. Fourth going to Joshua Furr. Fifth, Johnny Thomas. Sixth will be Matthew Weeks. Seventh, Dallas Myhan. Eighth will be Levi Zielinski. Ninth will be David Tooker. 10th going to Rusty Capel. Michael Goodman finishing in 11th. 12th place, Ethan Reisner. 13th will be Joshua Personette. Brent Jones finishing 14th. 15th will be David Westergreen. Damian Leininger finishing in the 16th spot. 17th going to Dustin Dewar. 18th, Tyler Riggs. 19th, Josh Robin. 20th, Chris Jordan. 21st, Richard Hines. Joshua Clark, 22nd. 23rd, Andrew Rucker. 24th, Logan Shea. And 25th will go to Stephen McGo. So now, guys, we have a chance to talk to our race winner. That is none other than Gerald Campbell in the 31 machine. Campbell, you got your ears on, buddy?
Yes, I do, sir.
Man, oh man, what a dominating finish here at Kansas. Led for 98 laps. That car was on rails all night long. Tell us how easy it was to drive.
And I was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers out there. No, no, it was a good car. It was just, I knew the track position was going to be very key, obviously, and person out front was able to just concentrate on their front tires and just make sure that they were straight and not running them off. And the guy behind him had to fight the pushing. So I knew I had to get the lead, and I knew I had to stay in the lead. And then it was just from there, I had to make sure that I saw what Chad was doing. He was trying to jump in front of me under pit stops, but I knew I had at least 2-second lead over him before the pit stop. So I knew I had 2 more laps that I could go out there and get back in front of him and have newer tires and still have that clean air. And perfect timing, pulled right back in front of him. Was able to have just a fast pit stop and able to get back out to the front and just do what I've been wanting to do and just go out there and run up front the entire race.
Well, you made it look easy. Time and time again, we saw drivers run that high side and brush the wall. And I gotta say, that 31 machine on the right side looks as clean as the day it dropped off the jacks. How difficult is it to get into the corners here at Kansas, carrying all that momentum on the high side?
I mean, when you're behind someone, you get that momentum. It makes it just that much worse. Have just that much more speed. So you have to always judge how fast am I going into the turn? How much speed am I carrying? How much is it going to push up? And that's a lot to think about whenever you're racing inches from the guy in front of you and the guy behind you, and inches from the wall. And it's all just trying to maneuver your speed versus tire wear versus track position. So yeah, it was pretty difficult. Being out front makes it eliminates some of those other obstacles. The guy in front of you, the speed runs and everything. But like I said, this out front just dictate what you need to do. So it makes it a lot easier to be able to tell when you be able to get off the gas and how close you need to be to that wall. Just got to thank PRM. They invited me into their group. Not officially in, even though it would have been really rad to get my first win with them. One earlier in the year, but this is the first time with me part of their team that I've gone out and actually raced, which feels good to go out and win again. So just thank everyone for PRM, and thank you guys for hosting this thing, because this was a lot of fun to race whenever we had a big group of guys up there.
Yeah, it seemed like at the first part of a run, everyone was at the same speed, very similar lines, everyone battling for the same spot on the track. But then as the long run came about, that 31 machine really opened up a large gap, and it just seemed like the longer it went, the better your car got.
Yeah, I was spraying no cautions. I wanted those long runs because I was just focusing on. I ran a tighter steering ratio, one that I didn't have to put a steering wheel to. I did everything I could to make sure that tires are going to be straight, even in the as possible. Little movements in the steering wheel make a long distance tire wear. So that was my main goal, was just concentrate on making sure I didn't have too big an arc, make sure I had the tires pointing straight. All that ends up allowing you. I know a lot of people don't talking about how they the keys and then everything like that. I don't care. I want people to run up front with me. So it was about making someone fast, and I can never able to try to see if I'm still better than them. I want people to strategy if they can, anything to help people. I want to just say again, I support VFW. That is on my car every single race. It's a support of the veterans of Mars. Go out and think of vet. Make sure that you understand that this country is free because of them, and it's for a reason. Your part and just thank them. Thank you.
All right, Campbell, well, man, congratulations on the race win. Congratulations on making it into the next round here in the Elite Chase playoffs.
Thank you. Go out and win a championship.
There you go. Gerald Campbell, your race winner here tonight. Now let's talk to the man who finished in second place, was on a tear towards the front, but just ran out of laps. Thomas George in the 42 machine. Thomas, how you doing out there tonight?
Second sucks. That's my mood.
Well, we saw you out turning laps as the race leader while the others came down pit road. Do you feel maybe you stayed out there too long? Would you like to try that again, or was that your plan all along?
Yeah, the plan was to pit before the leaders did. I guess I should have pit after the 15 came to pit road, but then the 31 came, and I said, "Oh, I've got no other options here. This track sucks. Can't pass on the low line, under the lights. Can't do any of that. You gotta basically door people out of the way." And I had a race-winning car, or at least a top 3 car, and I was running the leaders down, and then I caught the 25, and he wanted to race me, which within his right, but I run you down from 7 seconds back in 10 laps, and maybe get the heck out of the way. So I knew once he decided to do that, and I knew my race was over from there. I would have needed a caution, and who knows what would have happened then.
Well, the 42 still brings it home in second place, and I believe by my math, that is good enough to advance you into the next round of the playoffs. And as we're going to have a break here for the holidays, that's going to give you some time to regroup and maybe get into the new year and pull off a race win at the next track, Homestead, Miami.
Yeah, to be fair, I felt like I should have had 2 or 3 wins by now, so I don't know. Well, let's just keep doing what we're doing. And I always know second's good, but for me, it's not enough. For me, it's about race wins. It's about getting that trophy at the end of the day. And it just happened to Iowa, and a couple other tracks I felt like I was fast at, didn't get the job done. So whether it be my own fault or somebody else's, it's racing, and for me, second's not good enough. My goal is to win, so we'll see if we can put this thing in victory lane at some point. But I'm running out of races to do it this year, and I'd like to put it in at least once, but we'll see.
Well, I know you're feeling a little down on yourself, but I got to tell you, the points have been updated. You've moved into second place in the point standings. You're going into the next round, and you are, I would say, a continual front runner. You keep doing what you're doing, man, and you will pull off a win here in the Elite Join APS Cup Series. So don't get too down on yourself there, Mr. George.
I know. It's just the post-race feeling. It's kind of why I don't want to do interviews sometimes, because I don't necessarily want to talk about it, but you do what you can, and you just got to keep fighting. That's all I can do. And as long as I keep having good runs, they'll come at some point, but I just don't know when yet.
Well, I hear you, man. And I do want to say, man, congratulations on second place here. Congratulations on making it into the next round. And we hope to talk to you in the new year, maybe from Victory Lane.
All right, thank you, sir.
That is Thomas George, driver of the 42 machine, finishing in second place here tonight. You could hear the disappointment about that second place finish, but I think he's got a lot going his way. This season has been a good one for Thomas George. Got 6 top 5s, 8 top 10s. Quite the outstanding stats for the season. Now finds himself 39 points behind our point leader, Chad Frankenfield. But guys, that is going to wrap it up for us here at Turn 3 Racing Network. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be off for the holidays. Our next race going to take place at Homestead, Miami for the Miami 200. That is January 8th, 2020. Everyone get rested. Everyone enjoy the time with the family. Enjoy the holidays. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next here January 8th. And until then, y'all, have a good night, stay safe, and go Royals.